Hello everyone, this is D Nice over here at the Printed Word Bookstore in Portsmouth, VA, and welcome to yet another episode of Bookstore Shenanigans. And it is the month of April, it is April 1st, so no fooling you, for reals, it is actually National Poetry Month. And so I'm going to show you guys what the sign looks like right now because I was like, it's Poetry Month, let's do something about that. Okay, so sidebar, the weather is actually wonderful today. Besides the pollen's not so fun, but the weather is gorgeous. We're in like solid 60s, 70s right now, and let's pray that it stays that way. But let me show you guys the sign. Roses are red, violets are blue, books are sweet, and so are you. So I ran out of letters, so I had to make something up at the bottom. But this is I'm starting to think, with the signs. This is not my best work. But it's not my worst. So we're growing, we're learning, and prayerfully this month we can get some more puns and some more poems out here. Okay, so we're back inside. And like I said, it is April now, 2026, and it is National Poetry Month. So I've been trying to brainstorm, like, what should we do for National Poetry Month here at the Printed Word? Because obviously, poetry is a part of the printed word. And so we're just trying to figure out what can we do to help celebrate throughout the duration of this month, poetry and poets. I'm praying that I'll be able to get maybe some professional poets in here from the 757, but we shall see. We'll see. I don't have much pull right now, but hopefully Mr. and Mrs. T have some connections that I can get some people in here so we can maybe do some interviews in this corner right here. This is going to be the interview corner, but we'll see. But for now, we shall talk about just what we have here in the printed word. So we have, I would say, a very limited selection of poetry, unfortunately. We have a little corner over here where the poetry is. Let me see if you can actually see it from where you are. No, you cannot see it. But we have this little stand that has a couple of racks, and only two of them have some poems and poetry books in there. But that is okay. We still have something, and I appreciate that. What I think I'm going to end up doing this month is trying to figure out ways to engage the creative flow of those who follow us online and try to get people to make poetry and submit it to us. That would be fantastic. So I'm thinking of doing something where it's like the Printed Word Bookstore. So every week, probably this week, I'll focus on the T.H.E. So just make an acronym poem. So for the, let's say it's a poem would be oh man, now that I'm putting myself on the spot, I had it for using T.H.E. So, two helicopters effervescence. I don't know, guys. I'm on the spot now, and I can't make up a good poem, but like just using T.H.E. as a 3-word poem, making an acronym with that. So I'm thinking that maybe that's the direction I'll go for this week, and then try to do the Printed Word Bookstore and just continue making poems and asking people for their contributions. But I digress. That is what I intend to do. We'll see what I actually do. You guys will find out what I actually end up doing to try to gain some engagement, because admittedly, poetry is not my forte. Poetry is not something that lights me up. Poetry is not something that fills me with life and rejuvenates me, to be honest. I think I'm not deep enough for it a lot of the times. I just honestly don't get it. And my level of poetry is honestly Dr. Seuss. If it's not like Dr. Seuss rhyming and bouncing and has that flow, it's just not quite for me. But I'm praying that throughout this month, as I read more of the poetry that we have within the store, as I am exposed to more poetry that's made by local artists and like people just on the internet submitting their poems and getting their creative juices flowing, I'm praying that maybe I can open my mind to the world of poetry more and more. And by the end of this month, who knows, maybe D Nice will leave as a published poet. Who knows where this will go, but I'm excited. So for this episode, we're just going to go over, this is one of the books that we have on poetry, world poetry. And I'm going to prove to you that I don't get it by reading just 2 selections. This is a big boy. Oh my goodness. Like, I could literally like weight lift with this thing and I would see some gains. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. You guys might see me by the end of this series like bulked up on words, on poetry, on the written word. But anyway, let's see. Where are I put 2 bookmarks in here. Okay, so I'm just gonna read a couple of poems from World Poetry, the book that we have in here, and yeah, we'll see if I get it. So this one, I opened the book randomly and I picked random poems. It's not that I like them, it's not that they jumped out of the page, it's that they were short, to be honest. So we will start with his book of gardening by Walafrid Strabo in the year 849. Most learned Father Grimald, your servant Strabo sends you his book, a trivial gift of no account, only for that, seated in your own garden, where peach and apple cast their ragged opacities, and your small pupils, laughing, gather up the shining or furred fruit and bring it you clutched to the stomach with both hands, or put it away in bushels. You might find some utility in it. More, that you may prune it back, strengthen, fertilize, transplant, as seems best to you, so may you at last be brought to such flourishing as grapples God's trellis toward the evergreening of unwithering life. This may Father, Son, and fruitful Spirit grant you. By Tim Reynolds. Tim Reynolds? I don't know. Maybe that's the translation. The thing is, this is world poetry, so I presume a lot of it comes from English, not English, rather, other languages that are not English, and so they're translated. And so I think for me, part of the problem when it comes to world poetry is things maybe getting lost in translation, and so maybe it's just not connecting. But that poem was a poem. Yeah, on to the next one. So the next one is it's by anonymous, I guess, and made in 800, and it's called On the Viking Raids. Very, very, very short. Since tonight the wind is high, the sea's white mane a fury, I need not fear the hordes of hell coursing the Irish Channel. On to the next one. So I'm pretty sure a lot of it is just lost in translation, and so it's not converting to English well, so the flow is not as good. But we'll read one more and then we'll call it a day for this episode of Bookstore Shenanigans. So the last one is it's by anonymous. It's called Season Song from the Finn Cycle. Here's a song. Stags give tongue, winter snows, summer goes. High cold blow, sun is low, brief his day, seas give spray, fern clumps redden, shapes are hidden, wild geese raise wanted cries. Cold now girds, wings of birds, icy time, that's my rhyme. And that's Season Song from the Finn Cycle. I don't think I'm deep enough for poetry, guys. I don't get it. So like I said, I will keep going. And I will keep praying that there's a poem out there that I'm like, yes, that's it. I finally get it. And it doesn't have to rhyme, guys. It doesn't have to rhyme. I'm just saying I'm a 90s baby. So I came from an era of jingles in my commercials. And so I think poetry would resonate with me better if it were sang, if it were in jingle form. And so maybe that's what I'll focus on for this month. But we'll see. But until then, those were a couple of poems from the book that we have right here called World Poetry. It's a really, really hefty one. We have it on sale for $22. We only have one copy of this. It is pre-loved, one of our pre-loved selections, but boy, is this a big book of world poetry. Like all of the world's poetry is in this book, but not really, but kinda, because this thing is hefty. Anyway, that is all for this episode of Bookstore Shenanigans. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you know of any local poets in the 757 in Hampton Roads, Virginia. Please, please, please put them in the comments below. Maybe we can reach out to them. Maybe we can get them in here to try to shine a light of what poetry is like here. What is the scene like here in the 757? That would be very exciting to just let some local poets just come in here and talk about you guys when it comes to poetry and share some of their poems with us. So if you know any local poets in the 757 in Hampton Roads, Virginia, please, please, please put them in the comments, tag them or whatever it takes to get them in our wall so that we can talk to them, have an interview maybe in the corner right here. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day. Once again, this is D Nice over here at the Printed Word Bookstore in Portsmouth, VA, and this has been yet another episode of Bookstore Shenanigans. Happy National Poetry Month, and prayerfully for the remainder of this month, we can give you guys some good poetry and inspire you to maybe make some of your own. So have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day, and until next time, goodbye.